everybody. This is Tulip.
And this is Cassidy.
And you are here for another episode of the Good News, the Gospel According to AMC's Preacher.
And it's time to play some effing checkers.
Go without God.
As they say now. We could be podcasting our last episode.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I figured we would get into that as we talked, but it certainly is. It's certainly up in the air. I'm not going to say it's not looking good, but it's certainly up in the air.
Yeah, it's. I kind of feel like for a while there, it was like, oh, well, they haven't canceled it yet. They've gone this long and they haven't canceled it, and so I'm sure it's renewed. And now it's like, well, it hasn't been renewed yet, so they could really cancel it at any time.
Right?
Yeah.
So this... Oh, go ahead.
It's Season 3, Episode 4, The Light Above.
Season 3, Episode 10.
I'm sorry, Episode 10. And you know what? I have Episode 4 written down.
Oh, that's really funny. Wishful thinking.
Yeah, it was wishful thinking of Season 4, so I wrote down Episode 4.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So The Light Above originally aired on August 26, 2018, so we're just a wee bit behind.
Not as bad as last year. It was only November 2nd. Yeah.
I think we were 3 months behind last year.
Oh, I think we were like scrambling to podcast the last episode before Season 3 premiered.
Oh, I think you're right.
Yeah, I think I'm right too.
Oh. So how did you rate this episode?
I loved everything about this episode. I rated it a 4.9 unicorn pipes.
You rated it really high.
I did. I loved this episode, and I loved it even more on the rewatch.
I still want every episode to be the pilot.
For me, this one was close. It had so many little moments and so many lines that just added to, I loved just about every single moment of this episode.
Well, I gave it a solid 4 out of 5 unicorn crack pipes.
Oh. And just a reminder, we do not rehearse this. We had no idea we were going to rate the same. That's funny.
It was a really great pipe.
It was adorable. I love how he was like describing how to use it, and Cassie's like, I know how to use a pipe.
You moron.
Oh, that was awesome.
So I do have a few numbers. I actually found some numbers online. Numbers as in ratings for the episode.
Right.
So it had 1.02 million viewers live plus same day. And in live plus 3, it was 1.8 million. So that's not too shabby.
It's not. We talk about it on Biters. That would be low for an AMC show, but it's still high in TV ratings overall.
And it's still pretty good for an AMC show. I mean, we talked about how Preacher is in the top 4.
Right, and the content really just isn't for everybody.
No, it's definitely not.
Yeah, like there's a million moms out there who hate this show.
So what did you come up with for the title?
Really, it's just God isn't gone.
That was kind of my thought, was that all of a sudden the light from above, all of a sudden God appears.
Yeah, we've been on the search for God, and everybody in Satan's been like, God's gone. Well, God's not really gone. There's actually a plan, and he's trying to play it out, and he doesn't want Tulip or Jesse or the Genesis to get in the way. So he's not gone. He's just behind the scenes. So I think that's the light above.
I think it's just God's presence.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't have anything startling or brilliant for it, that's for sure.
No. I think they could have been a little punnier with the title.
So it was
Because
written. Oh, go ahead.
we just came off of Dickhead in German, you know.
I'm
That was a well-placed title.
still thinking about Hairstar, who did not look like his scar was quite so pronounced on this episode.
No, it did not. But we saw very, very little of him.
This is true.
Yeah.
So the writer and director of the episode was Sam Catlin. We've talked about him before, so I won't say tons, but he is one of the original developers of the series.
Right.
He is also known for Breaking Bad and White Oleander, which always makes me think of a really evil Michelle Pfeiffer.
I love that movie.
It's been a long time since I've seen it, but I just remember her not being a good human.
Oh, she like murdered her husband and
Right.
like traumatized her daughter and was just, yeah, amazing.
With White Oleander.
Yep.
Yeah. And he didn't have a lot in terms of director credits. He's directed 2 episodes of Preacher and 1 episode of Breaking Bad. And he has written a total of 7 episodes of Preacher. He's credited for being the sole writer for 7 episodes of Preacher.
Hmm.
And he's like co-creator on like 33 or something like that.
Yeah.
So he's kind of prominent in the series, kind of important in the series.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully he sticks with it and we have a season 4.
Right. I'm not, I don't know. I don't think it's going to be up to Sam Catlin. I think it's going to be up to AMC.
Well, and like I've said, even if they just do like 6 episodes instead of 10.
To wrap it up.
Yeah, to wrap it up. Just to wrap it up.
Because they certainly have set it up for a season 4.
Right. Like, what is God's plan? And yeah, we'll get into the rest because, oh my God.
But, the thing that's kind of a bummer, I was thinking about this, and I mean, all the time TV sets up things that are not followed through. I mean, look at Firefly.
Yeah. Yeah. And every once in a while, the fans cry out enough to get something renewed to tie up loose ends. What was that one show? Jericho. Jericho got a season 2 because the last line of the first season was Skeet Ulrich going, "Aw, nuts," and they canceled it. No season 2, and people started sending peanuts to the studio.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Someone even started up this thing online where you could just donate money and they would buy peanuts in bulk and have them shipped to the studio. And finally, I think it was NBC. They were like, "Stop sending us peanuts. We're gonna do a season 2." Yeah, look it up. It is a true story.
What can we send AMC? Souls.
Horse meat?
Oh.
Unicorn pipes?
There you go. Specially made.
Yeah. We have a glass blower here in town who does pipes.
I'm sure we could find one.
Oh, so yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I've got a little more after we talk about our featured cast member about just kind of where we might go.
Okay.
So, our featured cast member is Jason Douglas, aka Satan.
Could it be Satan?
And
for those of you who don't get that reference, look up Saturday Night Live Church Lady.
You reminded me, and I had completely forgotten that he played Tobin on The Walking Dead.
He played Tobin.
And I had to look Tobin's fate up because it's been long enough that I didn't remember what exactly had happened to Tobin.
Oh, he got cut by an infected savior blade.
And got put down by Carol.
Yep. The woman he loved.
Yep.
Aww.
Who didn't love him back. that cared enough to put him down.
But his death made way for Ezekiel, so it was not all for naught, Tobin, even though it was.
And
So
he had his fun on Preacher.
he did. What a great role. So, like, for those of you who didn't recognize him and looked him up and he figured out he played Tobin on The Walking Dead, if you are a fan of anime or manga,
Oh my
and
God, I had no idea. I don't think we did him as a featured cast member on Talking Dead, or if we did it,
we
or on
did.
Walking Dead, but if we did, it's been a long time.
We did. I think we did it on his death episode.
Because
Uh,
I didn't remember all of the anime and
Manga?
voiceover work that he had
Yeah.
done.
Yeah, and so like I sort of delved into the internets tonight about the difference between anime and manga, and Teen Titan is kind of considered manga. Manga is a more westernized style of anime. Yeah, there's it's open to debate what the style of I don't even want to call them cartoons because that sounds too childish, and these cartoons really aren't made for children.
Animation.
Animation. There you go. So he has 139 voice credits for his voiceover acting, and that's just, I mean, he's in like Dragon Ball Z as Beerus, and that's considered like one, you know, each TV series like Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super and things like that is considered one. So he has 139 show credits of voiceover. That's amazing.
If he gets residuals from that, he'll be set for a long time.
Yeah, and it's got to be easy work. I mean, you can just roll up into that studio without a shower in your PJs. I could totally get on board with voiceover work, but he definitely has the voice for it. I mean, I'm sure he was partly picked for Satan because of his voice.
Yeah, I was totally listening to his voice tonight, having looked at his IMDb and having looked at his voiceover work, and I was like, man, they picked the right guy.
Yeah, yeah. And, he actually has a pretty good physique. Just a little, like, dad bod extra.
Well, they kind of highlighted the dad bod for
They
Tobin, so
did. They did. Satan had, a little bit tighter abs.
Yeah. Well, Satan had a pretty big costume.
I know. I'm a sucker for a cloven hoof. That was pretty good. That was almost darkness level in Legend.
We had
Tom
talked
Cruise.
about that. Legends of the yeah.
No, yeah, Legend.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I almost did that too. The Tom Cruise kind of magical unicorns show from
Right.
like the late 80s, mid 80s. Like one of only two movies I like Tom Cruise in because I'm not a Tom Cruise fan. All hail Zeno.
Hence the reason I'm not a Tom Cruise fan.
Yeah, I'm not big on like the Mission Impossible and stuff like that. He kind of seems these past decade or so, he's basically played the same character. Like secret agent-y, I can do it all and be it all, and yeah. So I'm over that. But yeah, so I loved the makeup in this. It really did remind me of Tim Curry in Legend as Darkness, aka the Devil. Yeah, he was great in this. I'm really hard pressed to find a lot of regular acting credits for him.
What does he not have?
Law and Order.
Law and Order.
He's like one of three people who have ever appeared on screen in Hollywood to not have been on Law and Order. Crazy.
I was shocked. I scanned through all of his credits and I thought, no, no Law and Order, you've got to be kidding me.
Nope. When I controlled F law, it came up with Outlaw Prophet Warren Jeff. Apparently, there was a TV movie about the Prophet Warren Jeff. The
Oh, he didn't play the title role, did he?
No, he
Oh,
played a guy,
good.
Roy Hodges.
I'm glad he didn't play the title role because that was creepy.
Super creepy. Oh, like I think I would rather, be like hang out with Satan than Warren Jeff. Ugh.
I'm right there with you.
So I think he's gotten in with like Robert Rodriguez, Quentin Tarantino films because he has been in From Dusk Till Dawn, the TV series. He Planet Terror, something else. Like I said, there are just so many voiceover credits that I can barely find. Oh, Sin City. He was in Sin City. But he was in a sci-fi miniseries in the early 2000s that if you have never heard of or you have never seen, I very highly recommend it. It is called The Lost Room. And it's crazy in its storyline. I mean, I don't even really know how to describe it. I mean, I will not do it justice by telling you that, like, he finds a key that when you use it in any door, it will open up to an old motel room. And there's things in the motel room that you can take out of the motel room, like, say, the alarm clock or the sunglasses that are sitting by the bedside. I mean, it looks like a hotel room that somebody has come in and set their stuff down and just left. I mean, the bed's all made and everything. But you can disappear into this hotel room. So you can, like, open it and go in, and the next person who goes through that door, it's just wherever the door leads to. The hotel room's gone and you've disappeared. So you can come back anywhere. Like, so I could leave my house right now and, like, open up to a bungalow in Tahiti, you know? It's an amazing power, but everything that you take out of the hotel room also has a special power, and it's completely, like, randomized. It's very weird. Like, there's, like, the sunglasses, like, makes you impervious to harm, or the alarm clock makes you be able to read people's minds and things like that. And so his daughter disappears into the hotel room, and he has to, like, he went to open the door again and she's gone. She's just lost to the hotel room. And so he's tracking down all of these people that have gone, that, like, have these weird abilities, and come to find out they've also been in the hotel room. And he's trying to figure out where this sci-fi miniseries is amazing. And Jason Douglas played a part in it. And now I want to go back and rewatch it because it was such an amazing show. And now I have to know what character he was in it.
I honestly have never heard of it.
So it's called The Lost Room, and I think it's a 3-part miniseries that was done by Sci-Fi Network. If you can find it anywhere, I highly recommend it. It will stand up. I love it. I can't say enough. But so it was so funny to see him in that. And I don't even know how I came across that, because he's got tons of credits on IMDb. You're totally right. If he's getting just residuals from these, that's a crazy amount of money.
Oh, and the other thing that he's done a lot of is video game voiceovers too. Same series as the anime and manga.
Right.
Manga?
Right. Yeah.
Manga?
One of those. Yeah. Yeah. White girls from Alaska. We can't pronounce that stuff.
We're totally not hip.
Yeah, no. No. It's not my thing. I have a friend who absolutely loves it, and I can't get into it.
Our godson is totally into it, but he's also like 17, so.
Yeah, I could totally see that. Yeah, but my friend's my age, so, and he's new to it. Like, he just discovered it like 4 years ago, and he's seen everything.
We should have had him on as a guest to talk about Jason Douglas.
He probably knows the voice. Um, so yeah, he's married. He has 4 kids. If you go to his Twitter feed, he is very interactive with fans. I think he goes to every single con
You mean
because of,
very interactive?
yes,
Sorry, you said very inactive, and I was like,
I'm sorry,
what?
very interactive with fans. He like takes pictures of them with them at, like, he was at Walker Stalker, and he retweets people who shout out to him on Twitter, and he's very engaging with his fans, and of course he's got a ton of them between TWD, Preacher now, and all of his voice credits. So he's seems to be a very gracious, some very humble for someone who has an extensive career.
Very
Gosh,
cool.
yeah. So I know we had said a couple of episodes that we were going to do Satan, and then I think we did um, Sydney last time,
We
and I was
did.
like, oh, our last episode has to be Satan, and it was so. I love the synergy because, of course, he died this episode.
Oh
So
my god. How can you
we,
kill Satan?
I know, right? Like, I mean, he is the saint of all killers, and his guns do hold a special power. I mean, he could kill angels, and he didn't kill Seraphim, did he?
I don't remember. It's been a while.
Yeah, because remember that scene where they all kept killing each other and coming
Yeah.
back, and the bodies just kept piling up?
Oh, that
So
makes me miss Fiora and DeBlanc really bad.
I know. I was thinking, because I was thinking we left off this episode with so many beloved characters dead, like we
I
did one.
know.
Yeah, so this was very reminiscent of season 1 for me. And I will get into another part of something that reminded me of season 1. But yeah, so I mean, I guess you can kill Satan with the Saint of all
With the right
killers.
guns. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, can he kill God?
Maybe.
Yeah, who knows?
Well, before we leave off Jason Douglas, I just wanted to say that he does have quite a bit of stuff still to come.
Yes.
He's got 2 movies that are completed. He's got a short in post production, and then he's got a big Dragon Ball Super thing again. And I couldn't tell if it was a movie or if it was a game, but I think it's a movie.
Dragon Ball Super Broly.
Yeah,
It says filming, so I would think that would be um not a video game.
that's kind of what I was thinking too. But again, not being hip, I wasn't sure. So,
Either way, I'm sure it will be very popular.
right. More residuals for Jason.
Oh, good on him.
Yeah, I agree. And I've got to tell you, I was just looking for traces of Jason Douglas tonight when I was watching the episode, and they did a really great job with makeup. I really could not see him at all.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I don't know what made me look him up other than I probably just looking up characters on the show. I was like, holy crap, that's Tobin.
Yeah.
I would have never. I mean, if he went to a con in that outfit in that makeup, I would have never picked him out, as himself.
I
Of course,
agree.
now I would.
Now you'd be like, do your Satan voice for me.
Right?
Well,
I'd be like,
everybody else is like, do your Super Dragon Ball, blah, blah, blah. We'd be like, do your Satan voice for us.
can I get a picture with more snarky Hellboy? Oh. So before since this might be our last episode, and we didn't get to a lot of the characters, I just wanted to give a shout out to a couple more characters. Kevin.
Oh, right.
Yeah, he was one. He was Mrs. Rosen.
Was that his
Yeah,
grandma?
that was his grandma. So Kevin Rosen. He is Nathaniel Woolsey.
He was great, and so was she.
Yes, and so she is Teresa O'Shea or O'Shea, which is funny because I have a friend named Teresa Shea, and she doesn't have the O in front of it. So I thought that was really funny. They've got a couple of things that are coming up. So there will be Life After Preacher for them. And then also big shout out to, now I'm not going to find the name, am I? The guy from Circuit City. Rick from Circuit Works. Rick from Circuit Works is Garrett Kruthoff. I think that's how you say it. And I'm kind of disappointed that we didn't get to him as a character because one, he played a really good Nazi.
That the head of the group?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So that was Hitler's buddy from Circuit Works, and he really, really reminded me of the guy in the Green Mile, the icky guy, the guard.
Oh my God, it's been
crazy.
so long since I've watched that
I know. But like him in his Nazi regalia, I just saw that guy in his guard uniform, and because they're both just so slimy, it flashed over, and I was like, oh, that is so funny. Like, so I had to go look it up to see if it, like, I was like, is he related? Because I know that guy is like way older than Garrett is, but Garrett is also in the Purge TV series, which is on like at the top of my list right now. It's like third down. I really want to watch the
And it's
Purge
actively
series.
on right now, right?
I think
Or it's
it
just
might
finishing
have,
up.
I think it just did its like season finale because I think it only had like 6 or 7 episodes. But yeah, so he is in 4 episodes of that. So I can't wait to go watch that with him in it. So I just wanted to give those 3 characters a shout out because I don't know if they're dead now. Well, actually, Mrs. Rosen and Kevin aren't
Are still
dead.
alive.
Yeah, but
But we probably won't see them again.
right. So I just wanted to give them a shout out as their characters.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, kind of on the tail of that, I just had a couple more things about season 4 rumors. So I looked to see if there were any rumors out there. And TVSeriesFinale.com basically said, as of today, it's neither canceled or renewed.
Hmm.
Bustle.com had an article where they talked about the finale of season 3, and they said it's really promising that none of the main actors are booked outside of the series at this point.
Yes.
And they were speaking specifically about the actors who play Jesse, Tulip, and Cassidy.
Right.
I guess Graham McTavish, the guy who plays Saint of Killers, is booked for a series. But they were basically saying that wasn't a ginormous thing.
Is he still an Outlander?
He's not.
Okay.
Which it kind of I'm not caught up. I'm about halfway through season 2, and I don't recall exactly the trajectory of the character in the books, so I can't really say like where that all falls.
Okay. Because I
But
think
the article on Bustle made it sound like he's no longer on Outlander.
okay. So I mean, he could probably film a lot of his scenes at once in order to schedule around him because he's not a huge character. I mean, we go episodes and episodes without seeing anything from him. So, and when we do, it's just a few minutes.
And I do think that if we get a season 4, that he's going to be in season 4 because he's still looking for Jesse.
Yes. Yes, and he and Eugene have,
Kind
started
of teamed
their
up.
own, yeah, buddy cop movie going there.
The Eugene and Saint of Killers show.
Oh, that would be funny.
So I have to tell you, I actually said to Betty Buckley on Instagram, my sister and I are convinced that you were teasing a season 4. and she just liked the post. She didn't say anything about the post at all. So
Aw.
now I'm gonna have to go back and post and say I'm really sorry that if there is a season 4, we won't see Grandma Custer again or Madame Langelle.
Maybe?
No, I think she's toast.
I have a theory.
Oh, then you'll have to share your theory. Do you want to share it now or do you want to share it when we get to the word?
I can share it when I get to the word because it involves other characters.
Okay, very
Yeah.
good. Well, that said, do you have anything else in terms of rumors or possibility of season 4 or
No, still anxiously awaiting the word.
so we're in the gospel then, our good news, and I'm gonna go first because I suspect it's you're gonna have this here somewhere. I just thought Cassidy's double cross was so clever. I thought it was really great,
Totally. And Mrs. Rosen called all 87 people like we speculated.
and not a single answer, as we
No.
knew.
Yep. And he knew putting that in her head that she would, and she would find out that he's right, that Icarius is a bad, bad vampire.
And I just thought it was super funny that Cassidy turned her, and then she turned everyone else.
Yeah. And I was so happy that all of the children of blood finally got turned. They like their dream had come true, and that was great.
Unfortunately, they all got killed.
I know. That's so sad. That's part of my bad. Part.
So my gospel was just basically Cassidy's cleverness and his double cross. I thought that was really good.
It was. It was definitely a highlight moment of the show. And like you had like there was something more when Icarius went into the house and everyone was all sad. It wasn't sadness. It was a tense resolve, you know?
Right? But
Yeah.
they thought, or Icarius thought it was all because of.
Yeah, that he was still duping them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Cassidy has repented. He's going to rejoin the group. Not likely. And I love how they all kind of looked to him after they killed Icarius. Like they
What are
looked
we
at
gonna
Cassidy.
do now? Yeah.
Yeah. Get a dust broom and maybe a sponge. Oh, it was so good. And when they nailed Icarius to the
The pool table.
table and
Yeah.
he kept his hand kept morphing into like a wing and a hoof and a whole bunch of other
To
things.
try to get away.
Yeah, that was just a really great little ad that like they didn't need to do that, but it was just a fun little second in the show that just it really stuff like that adds to it for me.
Yeah, I really liked that whole sequence. I thought it was really good.
Yeah. Yep. Awesome. So I had so much good that I had a hard time like just picking one big moment because there were so many small things that I loved about this episode. So the one I picked is towards the very end, and it's when the Saint of All Killers kills Satan, and Sydney's like, "You can't do that," and the Saint and Eugene walk out.
The rules have changed.
The rules have changed, and like the Saint he's sort of regained something. He had empathy for Eugene when Satan threw him. And he's going to take Eugene out of hell because Eugene doesn't belong there. And like God said, God didn't rescue Eugene because his path was different. So this is his path. And like that whole moment was great. But the cherry on top was after they left. And Sydney looks at Hitler and goes, "Plum cake?" And Hitler kind of cocks his head like, yes. And like just sits down in the chair. And now Hitler runs hell.
Did you notice that the first contract that he picked up was the contract
Yes.
with Madame Langelle's name on it?
Yes. Yes, and Jesse's. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Jesse's soul. I loved that. That it was just like Sydney's kind of like, what do I do now? Okay, I guess this is my new boss, And Hitler's like, yeah, okay. I always figured this is how things would end. That the thought of Hitler running hell, just I loved this.
It's apropos.
It is. It definitely is, and I would love to see more of it in a season 4.
I don't know. Even if we get season 4, will we see hell?
I think so, and that will be part of my Madame Longel speculation.
Okay. So let's go on to our Job.
Which is our bad. What was
Right.
yours?
So my Job was that TC and Jody are dead. I
I
especially
know.
was so disappointed. I was really sad by the way TC died, where he was like, nah, I'm good.
Okay, I am so glad you mentioned that because that was part of my season 1 callback that I feel like as villains, TC and Jody, and especially TC reminded me a lot of Sheriff Root in that he was supposed to be a villain and unlikable, but not hated, and ultimately really kind of sad.
Mm-hmm.
So like when he decided to die with Jody because he had nowhere else to go, it just reminded me of how sad Sheriff Root's life was. And I just, how complex our villains are.
That's really good. I really didn't think of that at all.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I will miss TC and Jody. Oh,
Yeah, it just made me really sad, and I loved the fight between Jesse and Jody when Jody grabs the board with the nails in it, pulls it out of his face, and
oh,
he says something like "That's new" or "That's different."
yeah. I wrote it down. Yeah, he said that was different. And TC finally got to say, "Welcome, you motherless goat humpers."
Yes.
Yeah, good moment for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved that. The fight was great. My One of my favorite parts about the fight was when Jesse was just graphically pounding Jody's head into the cement wall. We actually, if you go back and look at the camera angle of how it was shot, and they kind of went into the wall, so it was like the mirror image of exactly what Jody was seeing.
Oh,
Because
that's cool.
yeah, so like with every hit of his head, it kept getting more and more into the wall, and so it was like as if your eye was like being pounded into the wall, and so it was the mirror image. We were watching that, but we were also getting the effect. So they've had some really good camera work for this whole series, and I always go back to, I think it was season 2, maybe 3. I think it was 2, where they did the one shot, the fight scene where they did it all in one shot, and the camera just moves around the actors and it's all in one take, and it has to be flawless, and it lasted so long. So I just love the camera work that they do.
I agree with that.
Yeah. So if you go back and do a rewatch of it, pay attention to when Jody's head's getting smashed into the wall. It's super interesting.
Really well done.
Yeah. So my bad is kind of along the same lines as your bad. Hoover.
Oh, right.
We lost Hoover, and Hoover double crossed everybody. Oh, are the benefits really that good?
Apparently not. I mean, look at how things ended up.
Oh, I that was so unexpected, and it was so well done by Harris Starr because it was just so unfeeling, and like it was like he was like flicking a fly off of his lapel, you know? Like I just I'm gonna miss Hoover, and I really, really loved Vampire Hoover because holy dang, that guy could rock some black lipstick. I don't think I have ever seen a man who looks as good as he did in black lipstick. I think he should wear it all the time.
He did really, really rock the black lipstick. I agree.
Yeah, it brought something out in him. Like it gave him an edge, and I like even more of an edge than being a vampire supervillain for the Grail, Grail Industries. Yeah. So I'm really gonna miss Hoover, and I'm really sad at the way he went. And then we're not gonna see him again, just like Jodie and TC. Ugh. And that he double crossed everybody. That he turned out to really be a bad guy.
And he double crossed everybody for no good reason.
No good reason.
That's the thing that really sucks.
Yeah. And all those poor little followers that had just gotten turned, their dream had come true. They hadn't even got a chance to enjoy it yet, you know? They hadn't got to see Asia or Thailand.
Maybe there's an Asia in heaven.
Maybe there's nothing.
I tend to agree more with that these days.
Oh, sad. All right. On to Revelation.
On to Revelation.
Revelation.
So mine was just that it was a total reset of the show, just like they had when they killed off everybody in Anvil.
Yes.
And I kind of didn't like that.
Yeah, I don't like that we ended with the huge army of the Grail. I think that's a little big for our britches right now. I think that's biting off more than we can chew series wise. I don't know where they're going to go with that. But yeah, I did notice as the bodies were piling up between, Jodie and TC and Satan and Hoover and all of the Les Enfants du Sang and Icarius, like we lost just about everybody.
We really did.
It's really back down to our 3.5 characters.
Yeah.
The three main ones and Eugene.
And maybe Saint of Killers.
Maybe. Yeah. But, the series has come far. Who'd have thunk that we would have ever gotten out of Angelville? Of course, that's where the series goes in the books, but it seemed like that was the show, and that it couldn't be anything more than that. Look how far we've come.
Okay.
Hopefully we go further. So, speaking of going further, my revelation is, do we really know if all of these people won't be seen again? Sure, they're dead, but this is heaven and hell we're talking about. So, Hitler's in hell. Where do we think all his Nazi buddies went?
Oh, they're all blown up.
But they didn't go to heaven.
Good point. Very good point.
So we're dealing with people's souls. Where did Grandma go? Her soul got sucked out of her if she had one, because that machine didn't produce anything. So who knows? But Grandma didn't maybe go to heaven. She maybe didn't go to hell. Like maybe we'll see her. Like she's a swamp witch, a swamp sorceress, I think is what they called her. So we may see her again. And
I think we will.
Of course, Hoover, I don't think that vampires maybe have souls. And if they do, when they burn up, I don't know. Does it go anywhere? I guess it depends on which lore you ascribe to.
I think you're exactly right. That's what it depends on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Although, all of those people in in Anvil had souls, and we haven't seen any of them.
Right. Right. Where would Tracy be? Where would Sheriff Root be?
Right.
Where would the chick that was in love with Jesse that did everything for the church, whose name I can't remember now?
Emily.
Emily.
It was
Where that
Emily, right?
I'm sure she went to heaven, but there are no rules anymore. We totally could see any of these characters again. I would love to see Miss Betty Buckley on the screen again as Madame Logel.
I loved her. She was
Yes.
awesome.
And in the beginning scene when she was talking to Jesse, I just, that scene right there, I'm like, Betty Buckley isn't Madame Logel. Madame Logel is Betty Buckley. Like, she is so convincing. Like, I completely, like, I'm engulfed in the character. Like, I don't see Betty Buckley at all. I just see Madame Logel. She does it so well.
Very cool.
Yeah. So yeah, there are no rules. It could be that nobody's gone.
Or it's more likely that everybody's gone.
Maybe. So, do you have anything more?
I don't think so. It sounds like you've got some numbers.
A couple. So in the beginning, when Grandma was counting all the cash with the machine, those are all 50s. So I looked up 50, and Psalms 50 came up, and it is the mighty one, God, the Lord, speaks and summons the earth from the rising of the sun where it sets. From Zion, perfect in beauty, God shines forth. Our God comes and will not be silent. A fire devours him before him, and around him a tempest rages. And so this episode, we confronted Jesse's rage about his grandma. We saw that in the beginning where he was going to bash her skull in with a baseball bat. And in the end, he sacrifices his soul to kill her and burn down Angelville.
I love that, where he was like, yeah, maybe someday, but not today.
Yeah, and I loved the beginning scene when young Jesse and old Jesse pass, and they have that moment where they talk to each other.
I did too. And then they talk to each other again in the truck.
Yeah, and they were doing it in like the black and white and the color. They played with the color of the scene. That another great tiny thing that they didn't need to add that just added to it. I loved that. And the young Jesse's like, old Jesse's like, you should have killed her when you had the chance. And young Jesse was like, well, now's your chance.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a really, really good scene.
I thought so too.
Yeah. So that was Psalms 50. The other number that I came up with was 100 because Grandma had 100 years worth of souls. She could have lived another 100 years.
Oh, good catch.
But I didn't find anything significant, which is very weird. You would think in the Bible there, like 100 would be a significant number. It's a nice round number. It's our first 3-digit number, but there's really not a lot. Nothing that jumped out or made sense yeah. So you had a number. Did you look it up?
87. I did not look it up because I found it right before we got online.
Oh, okay. So 87 was the number of flown children that Mrs. Rosen called, and none of them answered. Really, Psalms 87 does not fit with the scene or anything with the episode. He has founded the city on the holy mountain. The Lord loves the gate of Zion more than all the other dwellings of Jacob. Yeah. Didn't really fit.
Yeah, kind of meh.
Yeah, I liked my Raging Fire one better. But yeah, so not a lot of numbers this episode, but there haven't been since season 1. I have a ton of other stuff that I just
Go. You
love.
go, girl.
Okay. So again, in the very beginning, when Grandma and young Jesse are talking, Jesse's talking about wanting to take Lent off and go to Texas and see Tulip and everything. Well, he's like, I'd like to take a day off and maybe go somewhere. And Grandma says, "Ain't no law about movie seeing," which
Right.
is exactly what Jesse's mom said to TC and Jody when they caught her leaving on the bus.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, ain't no law about movie seeing. Yeah, I that was like just a callback that kind of gave me chills. I was like, oh, that's what his mom said when she was trying to get away. Oh, and now Jesse's trying to get away and she uses it. Ugh. Like I said, Betty Buckley is Madame Lachelle.
Good for you.
Yeah, yeah. I loved it when Sydney confronted the Nazi, and she's like, "If you're SS, why are you wearing a Luftmedal?"
Yes, the Luftwaffe.
Say it again?
Luftwaffe. It
Oh,
was the Air Force,
okay.
the German
Yeah.
Air Force.
We're a mixed auxiliary.
Right.
Yeah. I just love that she knew enough about Nazi regalia
Oh,
to
she
call
totally
him out.
knew. Yeah.
Yeah. Like that was just again another little thing that didn't need to be there, but added to it so much. And then when God, is talking to Tulip and everything, and she calls God a dick and leaves. And God's new honey, because it's a different woman that's been on than the one that's been on the motorcycle previously.
Right.
She comes up and kind of looks at him like, well, and he's like, "Yeah, I see you. Give me a sec." I just loved that. I loved it. Um, let's see. What else? I kind of liked the text between Tulip
Oh,
and
yeah, that was funny. Between
yeah,
Tulip and Jesse. Gonna
gonna
kill
go kill
Grandma.
Grandma. Be right back. Yeah, and she gives him the thumbs up. That was so good. Um, one other very minor scene that literally made me laugh out loud was when the Grail is flying away with Les Enfants du Sang's house.
Yes.
The
The Humperdews.
Humperdews!
Yes.
And they're like, you even get the little Humperdew. I just loved that there are Humperdews walking around everywhere. That's so great. Um, oh, and I eat horse tranquilizers for breakfast, don't you?
Right. It's
Yeah,
whale.
it's whale. So good. The hole in Satan's head, the bats come flying out.
Okay, I loved that. And I
Yeah,
actually also loved that the Saint of Killers pulled out Death's eyes.
scooped him out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knew that he was a denucleator?
A denucleator. I love it.
You know what that is, right? You listen to
No.
My Favorite Murder.
I listened to My Favorite Murder. I haven't heard that particular reference.
Oh, I'm the weirdo who knows that a denucleator is somebody who removes eyes.
It's an enucleator, isn't it?
I think it's denucleator.
Ah,
They did there's been a number, I'm sure there was a Law and Order episode about it.
probably.
Um, it's either or, enucleation or
Oh,
denucleation.
well, there you go.
Yeah. Enucleation is remove nucleus from a cell, surgically remove tumor gland or eyeball intact from its surrounding capsule. So apparently this is a thing with some people that they like to do this when they kill people. It's a serial killer thing, and there have been denucleators before. I can't name one right now because I'm not that weird, but I know it's a thing. Like dendrophiliacs.
What is that? Hair?
Somebody who loves trees.
Ah,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. Another like I'm weird. Like uh, yeah. I, I love serial killers. I love my favorite murder. I love Preacher. I like weird things.
You love The Walking Dead.
I love The Walking Dead. Yeah. I like normal stuff too, like rescuing dogs and you know, going and seeing superhero movies. I'm complex.
Complex is good.
Yeah, it is. Um, so in the very, very end, when Cassidy is being held captive by the Grail, when he looked up,
Was that an
there
angel?
it was an angel, and it looked
Okay.
like it was suspended in chains.
Ah, okay.
Ah, so who is that? How did they get there? Why are they there? And what's going to happen with that? We have to have a season 4. I just
Well, we
so
totally have to have a season 4, but again, I say Firefly.
right. Yep. Yeah. And I do have to say that the ending lines were great. Uh, where Hairstar describes his plans for taking down Jesse instead of making him the Messiah. And Featherstone is like, love it. The great chess match for world domination continues. And Hairstar's like, I'm tired of chess, Flufferman. It's time to play some effing checkers. Oh, I'm so going to use that from now on. It's time to play effing checkers. That's funny. That's some good writing.
You loved this episode.
I did love this episode.
That's very good.
Yep. Yep. So that is all I had. That's why I rated it a 4.9.
I don't think I had anything else. I think you talked about the things that I had jotted down. So,
And then some.
and then some. I did appreciate that Tulip could appreciate a good Luger.
Oh, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was like, uh-oh, where's she gonna go from here? Yeah. That was actually the first gun I ever possessed. Uh,
Really?
yeah, my dad gave it to me when I moved into my very first apartment. He gave it to me for protection. I never
Why
fired it.
why am I not creeped out by that?
Now I own other guns of my own, though. I don't have a Luger, though. Maybe I'll have to look into getting one.
I would
Yeah,
imagine that they're expensive to possess anymore.
probably. And I think and that's when my dad gave it to me. That's exactly what I thought. Is I was like, that's a Nazi gun,
Mm-hmm.
because it's just the quintessential gun from that era that they all carried, and you see in every period piece. And of course we see it here again. So that's probably why I don't own one. Is that's exactly what I think every time I see one.
Mm-hmm.
So. All right. Well, this could be the end.
This could be. I'm not sure that it will be, but it could be.
I hope not.
I hope not too.
Yeah. But if you want to listen to our voices more and there will be no preacher, you can always become a fan of The Walking Dead and listen to us on Biters.
And the season 9 reboot has been spectacular, so now is a good time to binge and become a Walking Dead fan or come back if you left.
Get in on it.
That's right.
Yeah, definitely. The people who left, I'm like, yeah, no, you need to come back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your time has come.
Well, whether or not we have another preacher, little sister, to the end of the world.
Till the end of the world.
All right, everybody, take care. Hope we see you on the flip side.
Yep. Here's hoping.
Goodbye.
Bye.